Hey everybody, so my name is Caroline Leon and this is Maxie, and today we're going to do a Kili kit list for you. Alright, so we're going to Kilimanjaro. So for those of you who are planning to go to this mountain and who have never ever been to Kilimanjaro before, this is your kit list, minus the husky, he's mine. So let's get started. So Kilimanjaro is the highest volcano in all of Africa. It is the highest mountain in all of Africa, and it's also a part of the volcanic seven summits and the seven summits. And so it's really an iconic mountain, and millions of people climb this mountain every single year. So it's really very, very popular. Loads of people climb it. And it's probably the easiest and the safest high altitude mountain that you can probably do that's a part of the seven summits and the volcanic seven summits. So if you're a budding adventurer and you're interested in climbing Kili, then this is kind of what you're going to need to do that. So on Kilimanjaro there's several routes. And the most popular route is called the Marengo route. On the Marengo route, there's huts all the way through, so you don't actually need any of the sleeping equipment. But on the other routes, you are going to need a tent and a sleeping bag and all of the other stuff. So we're climbing Kili. So I guess the first thing to start off with is, what are you going to take all your gear in? So here, if you have a look on the side, I've got a duffel bag. And my favorite is actually the North Face duffel bag, and this is, I think, 80 to 100 liter bag, and it is waterproof and water resistant, so you can literally fit everything in this bag without anything getting damaged. So first thing that you need is your duffel bag, okay? And then after you have your duffel bag, we're going to move into starting at your feet and then working your way all the way up to the crown of your head. So here I'm going to show you some hiking boots. So on Kili, generally you're only going to need 1 or 2 pairs of boots. Now, I prefer the hiking boots that have ankle support, and if you have a look at these boots, they're really malleable, so you can actually bend the entire thing. And the reason that this is important is that it means that it's really flexible and breathable, and you can kind of use these on every single day on Kili, probably not summit night. And if you see like a big ankle support, and so I prefer the ankle support to the shoes with no ankle support, just in case. If you think about it, on Kili, on day 1, you're going to be walking through rainforest, and so the terrain can sometimes be uneven. So if you fall over and you hurt your ankle, then the ones with ankle support are going to be a lot better. So this is the first thing. You need to get hiking boots. And what I would recommend for everybody is that they get a size, just 1 size bigger than your normal shoe, only because on the descent, or when you're coming down, your foot is going to be pushing forward into the end of the shoe, and so that way you won't actually lose any toenails and you won't bruise your toenails, and the likelihood of getting blisters is a lot less. So you need movable, nice hiking shoes, and that's the first thing. Okay, now we're going to move into summit night shoes. Now for summit night, I tend to change my shoes and I wear a much thicker boot for Kili. And if I show you, see here, this boot doesn't move a lot, and if I tap the edges, it's really hard. So it's not breathable at all, but what this means is that it's actually really warm. So the one thing to remember about mountains is that you don't actually ever know what the weather's going to be like. You might get amazing weather and blue skies with no relatively small amounts of wind, or you might have, lots of wind and it might be snowing and it might be rainy, or it might be a storm. So I prefer to take 2 sets of hiking boots, and this is my summit boot. Now the reason I don't wear these for any of the other days is because they're a bit heavy, and when you're walking through the rainforest you can get a little bit warm, and so these are not the best for the lower terrain part. But once you get beyond about 4,000 meters, it starts to get quite chilly and your feet can get quite cold, and so this boot is much better. But again, this is just my personal preference. So we've got 2 sets of boots, one breathable and then one much harder. Okay, so that's our shoe. Then I've got some like slippers, and the slippers I normally wear on camp. So when I get to camp or to the huts, I like to take my hiking boots off, and it's really nice to be able to put your feet in something else, something that's nice and warm. So this is all fleece. There are some booties, there are some down insulated booties that you can also use for camp, so either of those are fine. So you technically need another pair of shoes for the camp. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so now let's talk about some socks. So with both of those shoes, the best thing to do with socks is actually to take 4 pairs of socks. And you take 2 thin pairs, so 2 like sock liners, and then I would take 1 medium and then 1 really thick pair of socks that's really nice and warm. And so these are my really thick pairs of socks, and you can see that they actually come all the way to my knee. So this is the thick pair. Here I've got the medium pair. Yeah, they're actually coming to the shin and they're a little bit lighter. And I don't have the sock liners here for you, but you're gonna have 2 pairs of sock liners. So in total, you're gonna have about 4 pairs of socks. And what you normally do is on the first day when you're walking through the rainforest, you're gonna be wearing your hiking shoe and then the sock liner, because it's nice and breathable and it stops your foot from chafing and getting blisters and stuff. As you start to move up the mountain, you may wear, again, depending on the weather, you may wear a shoe, the sock liner, and the medium sock, because that's a little bit warmer, yeah? So on summit night, when you're wearing your summit shoes, you may wear the sock liner and a medium sock, or you'll wear a sock liner and the thick sock, okay? That's on summit night, okay? So when you start descending the mountain in your summit boots, it might be a nice idea when you get to the next camp is to actually change shoes and then move back to the breathable shoes that are a little bit lighter and more malleable. And there is an option to change socks. So one thing that I really like to do is I leave, so I get, let me see where it is, I have a bag like this, and all my like sleeping clothes I put into this bag. So they're the clothes that I don't use on the hike and that are always kind of clean, and I put a pair of socks, a pair of underwear, and I put my pajamas, like a t-shirt and some tracksuit pants in this bag. So I've also got another pair of socks in here that stay really nice and clean, and I put them in my bag, and every night in the tent or in the hut before I go to bed, I literally just put everything nice and clean. That way you're getting out of all of this stuff. And if you put it into its own bag, preferably one that is completely sealed, then at least you're not getting any dirt or anything else into it. You've got a clean pair of clothes to wear every single night. So that's shoes and socks. So now if we start to move up your body, then we're gonna start to think about pants. Now for Kili, you're gonna need 4 sets of stuff for your lower leg. Hey, husky. Okay, so the first layer is called your base layer. And I'm just gonna open this up. Sorry, these are a bit old, but the base layer is either made out of merino wool or a fabric that is insulated. And this is the first layer of pants that you're gonna need. Now, on Kili, you may not need these every single day, but on summit night, you'll definitely need to wear a base layer, yeah? So this is your first set of lower leg wear that you need, okay? Second to that, you're gonna take hiking trousers. Now, it really is up to you whether you wanna take 1 pair of hiking trousers or whether you wanna take 2 pairs of hiking trousers. So it's completely up to you. One thing that I would suggest is that one of the pairs of the hiking trousers that you take has the zip on the side, so in case you want to change them into shorts, you can unfasten the lower leg and they can convert into shorts, okay? So you're gonna have a pair of hiking trousers like this, and it's completely up to you whether you want one or two. Okay, so these are your hiking trousers. Next, you're gonna take a soft shell pant. And the difference between this hiking trousers and the soft shell pant is that the soft shell pant is a tiny bit thicker, and the material is a little bit more durable. So if you touch this fabric, it's really, really thin, very lightweight and very breathable. And this is a little bit, the seams are just a little bit thicker, so it's a little bit warmer. So what you're going to do is on summit night, and again, this really depends on the weather, you are going to wear your soft shell pants and have your base layer underneath those soft shell pants. Yeah? So this is your soft shell pants. Now, on top of that, this is a just in case. So your just in case is your hard shell pants. And your hard shell pants, what defines a hard shell pant is that they're water resistant, they're waterproof. So this means that you can be on snow, on ice, it can be raining, and the water isn't going to seep through to either of those other layers. So it depends on when you go to Kili. If it does rain, then you need hard shell pants because you put them on top of any of those layers and it just stops you from getting wet. So the hard shell pants, what kind of defines them is actually the fabric. So if you have a look at the fabric of these pants, you can tell that it's actually a little bit plasticky, and on the inside it's got this kind of textured feel. So the hard shell pant, and the big difference is that they have a zip that goes all the way up the side of the leg, so you can actually put these on when you're completely dressed. So you've got your boots on, you've got another trekking pants, and without having to take anything off, you can put the hard shell pants on top. Okay. So these are our pants, and just to recap, you're going to take 4 different pants: your thermal base layer, your trekking pants, and you can take 1 or 2 pairs of these. You're going to have your soft shell pants, and then you're going to have your hard shell, water resistant, waterproof pants. Okay? Cool. Alright, so now in front of me you can see I've got 4 piles, and these 4 piles are what I'm going to wear on the top part of my body, so from here all the way up. And these are a little bit bigger than the lower body because your upper body tends to get a little bit colder, so it's nice to have some options and some variables. So when you're at the very bottom of the mountain, like I said, you're going to just wear your trekking pants, the sock liners and normal trekking shoes. On the top, you're going to have either t-shirts. So I've got this North Face t-shirt here, but it's actually best to have things that are not cotton, because if you get really sweaty, then the cotton fabrics take a lot longer to dry. So any quick dry fabrics, and it's best to have 1 or 2 t-shirts that are quick dry fabric, 1 darker color and 1 lighter color. So I'll show you my lighter color just here. So this is, I've got 2 t-shirts, a light color and a dark color. Okay, now remember at the very beginning I said to you guys that you're going to have a bag that's going to have all your sleeping clothes. So in this bag you're going to put something to wear at the top as well, and then you're going to put tracksuit pants to wear at the bottom as well in the evenings. So this goes into that little bag. Okay? So I've got my 2 t-shirts that are quick dry material, and there I'm going to use for that first day coming through the rainforest. Okay, so that's those t-shirts. Okay, next I'm going to have, and this is again for perhaps the first 2 days or the first 3 days, and you can see this shirt is actually a light color, wicken fabric, quick dry, and it's long sleeved. And the reason that you want something preferably that's long sleeved is because of the sun exposure. So Kilimanjaro is a mountain that's very close to the equator, and as you start to walk higher and higher up the mountain, the sun exposure just gets a lot stronger. So ideally, and what I would recommend to everybody, is that you actually have most of the clothing that you have be long sleeve, so that you protect your arms, and then actually also have a hood as well so you can protect the back of your neck from the sun. Okay, so that's my next shirt. Okay, so ideally what that sun shirt needs to be is quite thin, quite light, quick dry, and you can see in this example here, I've got the same thing, and this one has a hood. So this one's actually a lot better because it's a light color, it has a hood, it's long sleeve, and it's breathable and quick dry. Yeah? Okay, next I've got my base layer. And this is different from those t-shirts and the sun shirts that I just showed you. This base layer is a thermal and insulated. So it's going to trap all the heat inside my body but still allow me to breathe. And this is your base layer. Now on summit night you're definitely going to have to wear this base layer and perhaps maybe some of the other layers which we'll discuss later on. Okay, so that's your base layer. Okay. And now we're going to move into the next pile here, which is my fleeces. So your fleeces is what you call like a mid layer. So these are all the things that you wear at the very bottom, which is your thermals, your sun shirts and t-shirts. As we start to move up the mountain and it gets a lot cooler, you're going to have to put another layer on top just to keep you warm. So I've got 2 of these and I'll explain to you why. So this is my fleece that I walk around in all the time. And you can see that it has a hood and it's long sleeve. Now I've got black, but you can wear any color that you like. And like I said, lighter colors are going to attract less sun and less heat. And this is my fleece. This fleece has a little zipper on the side, so I put my phone into here for easy access. And this is going to keep me really, really nice and warm. And the good thing about the hood is that you can see here the hood actually zips all the way up, so it actually covers your mouth as well if it starts to get a little bit windy. So that's your fleece. Now I have a second fleece, and the only reason I bring a second fleece, and I'll show you my second fleece here, it's also got a hood, it's also got zips, is because I wear this to bed. So this is the fleece that I wear. After hiking all day, I like to change clothes and put something on that's nice and clean, even though there's no showers there. This is why wet wipes are kind of like your best friend. So you take a big stack of wet wipes every morning, every evening, wet wipe yourself entirely so that you're cleaning your body. And if you've got something really nice and warm and clean in the evenings to wear, it just makes the whole experience a lot nicer. So I've got an extra fleece that I wear in the evenings when I get to camp, so that I'm not wearing the fleece that I've gotten sweaty in all day. And if you have a look at the different fabrics of the fleece, this is a little bit thicker and warmer, whereas this is a Summit Series North Face fleece, which is breathable but also traps in the heat. So it's a little bit of a different material, but it's amazing, honestly. Okay, so they're the 2 fleeces that I take with me. Okay, now I'm moving up into my down jacket, and these are the insulated layers. So the reason that layering is so important is that on a mountain the weather can change at any time. So sometimes you're going to be walking and it will be blue skies and sunny, and then all of a sudden you get into a patch of shade and it gets really cold. You might traverse the side of the mountain and the weather may change completely when you're out of the sun. It might become really, really windy. So the weather is really precarious and it can change at any time. So it's important to be able to have layering where you can put something on to make you warm and then take something off to keep you cool. And this is why having fabrics and having tops that have zippers make it a little bit better, because you can actually just open the zipper and get cooler without having to take the whole layer off. So now that we're moving to the insulated layer, I've got 2 down jackets here. Now you guys don't need to have 2 down jackets, you can just take one. One is completely fine, but I'll explain to you. This down jacket is a 400 fill down jacket, and you can see it's actually a little bit thinner. So normally when you're walking, your body's generating quite a lot of heat, and this down jacket is breathable. It still keeps you really nice and warm, but you're also not going to overheat. So that's this first down jacket. Now, when we're at camp, I like to wear this down jacket, and you can see the difference of how thick this down jacket is. It's really great for for summit night and for when you stop and you're at camp. So as soon as you stop moving, you're going to start to feel that it actually gets a lot colder. So this is a great down jacket for when you're at camp and when you're on summit night, so you stay really nice and warm. Okay? So again, like I said, no need to take two, but I like to take two. You can just take one down jacket and utilize that. Okay, now I've got my my outer shell. So you can see the outer shell needs a couple of things that are really important. So this you're going to wear on summit night. And this is wind and waterproof. And most of the fabrics are going to have these zippers here that reflect the light. So even when you're walking at night, you're going to see that this is light reflective. So it's going to bounce off that light and people are going to be able to see that you're there. And so that's what's really important. It's also important that you make sure that your outer shell is a bright color. So you can see that most of the things that I have are black, but when it comes to the outer shell, it's really bright. And the reason that that's important is because black at a distance can be a rock. But if someone's seeing this vibrant, bright blue or red or yellow, then they know that that's a person. And if you're missing or if anything happens, it's much easier to find you if you're wearing a really bright color. So what I would recommend is that your outer shell be a really, really vibrant color. Yeah, so this is my outer shell, and this is wind and waterproof. So so this is the one that you're going to wear on summer night. So I also have another wind and waterproof, and this normally I wear a little bit further down on the mountain. So it's obviously a lot thinner and it's a lot smaller. So it's just a different wind and waterproof jacket. Okay, so these are the 4 layers that you need for Kilimanjaro. Again, I've stacked and doubled up on things, but you don't need to. So you've got your base layer, which is like your t-shirts, your sun shirts, and your insulated base layer. Then you've got your fleeces, which is the mid layer, and then you've got your down jackets, which are the insulated layer, and then you've got the outer shell, which are wind and waterproof. And they also have that light reflective substance. And remember, this is the layer that needs to be a nice bright color. Okay, so that is your tops. Okay, so we've done most of the lower part of your body, so now we're going to move up onto your head and your neck. And if you guys have a look here, really the most 2 important things is to have a buff and to have a beanie. So remember that your outer shells are all going to have hoods, and ideally your fleece is going to have a hood, and your down jacket's also going to have a hood, so your head is relatively protected. So this is a buff. And for those of you who don't know what a buff is it literally is just a piece of fabric. And most of these fabrics actually have some SPF material in them, which means that you're not going to get burnt through them. And the purpose of a buff, so I'm just going to show you, is you're going to slide it through your head and you're going to put it on your neck. And you're going to wear this. Actually, you can wear this the day after you leave the rainforest. Now, I've got a black one, but I also have a light colored one, but it's somewhere around here. So when it's better to wear a light colored buff, and what you do is as you start to get colder, you actually put the buff over your head and neck. And what this does is it stops your face from getting burnt, and it stops the wind from getting wind burnt on your face, and it keeps you really, really nice and warm. So you can do this way. The other way that you can wear this buff is that you can actually put it kind of like a beanie, and I know I start to look a little bit funny here, but you put it like this, and you put your beanie on top, and then you put your hood on, and you can see, now that I've just moved my hair out of the way is that my head is completely covered and so is my neck. So it means that I'm getting protected from the sun, and it also means that I'm staying really nice and warm. So just gonna take those two things off. So they're the two most important things that you need in Kili. Some people choose to get a full face balaclava or some of the other like face masks or anything like that. That's completely up to you, but normally what I've found on Kili is that actually a buff and a beanie in addition to the hoods is sufficient. Okay, so they're the two things that you're going to need for your head, and they're a must. The other thing is on summit night, and actually even every night at camp, and if you're camping or if you're in your tent, you're going to need a headlamp. And if you're not aware, on summit nights, most of the time on a summit night, you're going to leave really, really late in the evening. So you'll get to the next camp probably in the late afternoon, and from dinner time till about 11 or midnight, you'll sleep. And from that point onwards, you're going to wake up at about 11, 12, 1 o'clock, and then you're going to start summiting Kili. And the summit is all the way, it depends how fast you can walk, but you will be summiting all the way up until 9, 10 in the morning. And for those early hours in the evening, you're going to need a headlamp so that you can see. Otherwise, it's pitch black. So what I would suggest is get a headlamp, buy new batteries because you're going to be using them every single night in camp, and then on summit night you need this to last you literally 6 or 7 hours, and it's going to be on for 6 or 7 hours. So here you can get the ones that you charge, or you can get with the battery packs. Yeah, either is fine, but you 100% necessity, you need a headlamp. Yeah. So just going back to the foot gear, because I forgot to mention about gaiters. So this is a gaiter, and for those of you who don't know, a gaiter is something that you put, so just imagine that I've got my shoe on, right? So I'm going to like unclasp these, yeah? So I take the Velcro off, and normally the like label goes on the outer edge, yeah? So I'm going to put the rubber band underneath my foot, yeah, like this, and then this goes around my shin, and I Velcro this all the way back on. So I've got this Velcro. And what this stops from happening is all the little rocks and the debris from getting inside your shoe, and it actually keeps your lower leg, like your shin, a little bit warmer as well. So you can see that the gaiter strap is coming out to the bottom, just where that heel starts, and it's going all the way up until your mid shin. And then normally you'll have a little strap where you can pull on it and just tighten it. But this is a gaiter, and that's what it's used for. And summit night, this is essential, and the reason it's essential is that when you leave for summit night, you don't see the terrain because it's pitch black. But actually, for the first couple of hours of Kili, you're actually walking up loose stone and scree. So all those little rocks, the gaiters stop you from getting all those little tiny rocks inside your shoes. And so that's what this is useful for. So you need a gaiter for each shoe, and so you buy them as pairs. Yeah? Okay, so now you can see I've got 3 pairs of gloves. Now sometimes people look at this and they're like, this is totally excessive. But just remember that all of this is a just in case. And the just in case is what I found anyway, is that when I bring the just in case, I never need it. And when I don't bring the just in case, then I always need it. And the just in case is just in case the weather changes and the weather goes really bad. So I'm going to show you what all 3 of these gloves are. So this is a glove liner, this is a mid-weight glove, and then this is like a heavy-duty mitten. So the glove liner, after maybe about 3,500 meters, it's nice to wear a glove liner just because it stops your hands from getting so cold. Yeah, so this is a glove liner. And actually the glove liner you can wear on underneath the mid-weight glove and the mitten. And what's really like useful about this is that, say for example, the weather changes and there's a full-on snowstorm and it's freezing, and you decide you want to put your mittens on and you start hiking on summit night and you're going up the summit, and all of a sudden you need to stop and get something from your day pack. You can take the glove, so the mitten off, put it down your soft shell or your hard shell, and still have the glove liner on so that your hands don't freeze. And the glove liner, you are still able to do anything with the glove liner. It's not like having a mitten on where your hands are useless with them. So that's the benefit of having a glove liner and then having all of these other layers. So this is the glove liner. You're going to wear the glove liner most of the time. Now this is a mid-weight glove, and this is the glove that you're actually going to wear on summit night for Kili. And you can see mine is a little bit of leather. It's wind and water resistant, and inside it's got like fleece material, so it's really nice and warm. So I can choose not to wear my glove liner with this, but again, if you lose a little bit of the dexterity in your hands when you're wearing a mid-weight glove, so it's nice to take off that mid-weight glove and then still have your glove liner on so that you can do normal stuff without letting your hands freeze. So these ones are essential for Kili, the mid-weight glove, and then obviously the glove liner is optional. Okay, now the mittens. On Kili, your mittens are completely like just in case. So you can see this mitten, it has leather on the palm, and it's got a strap so I can pull and I can tighten it, and I can also tighten this strap here. And so I stop any of the cold air from getting through. Inside it's merino wool. You can see here it's all fleece and wool on the inside. So it's really thick and really, really warm. And this is your just in case the weather turns, in case there's a snowstorm, in case it's really, really cold. It's really nice to have a mitten to keep you really nice and warm, because you need your hands to be warm. And like I said to you, the advantage of having the glove liner is that you put the glove liner on, you can put the mitten on, and then if you need to get anything out of your pack when you're stopping for a rest, you can take the mitten off and still be able to use your hands properly. Okay, so we've got 3 sets of gloves, and just to recap, I've got my glove liner, I've got my mid-weight gloves, and then I've got my heavy-duty mittens that are just in case anything goes wrong and the weather changes and it's really cold. Yeah? Okay, so now that we talked about hands and we talked about head, I completely forgot to show you the goggles and glasses. So you guys are going to need like ski goggles, and they're your just in case, and you want them again to be UV protected. So you need ski goggles just in case the weather turns, there's a blizzard, there's a snowstorm, just in case you can see. And then you need glasses for all of the other days on Kili, so that obviously you're protecting your eyes from the sun, and you're able to see. And particularly if you're summiting a little bit later, when you get onto the glacier, you want to protect your eyes on the snow. Okay, so goggles, eyeglasses, which I forgot to show you, they're not here, but you know you need to bring them. Okay, so now we're going to move on to some of the other tiny little things. So here I've got a hot water bottle. Again, it's not essential, it's something that I like to take, and I like to take this because it helps me sleep at night when I'm nice and warm. So in the evening, the porters are going to give you hot water and tea, and I like to put hot water in there. Sometimes I put it on my back if my back's a little bit sore, or in any part of your body that needs some TLC, and it also kind of helps me to sleep. So hot water bottle. Yeah. Here I've got like a bum bag, as we like to call it, and in that, so it really depends. This is completely optional, but if you want to, you can put some snacks. You can put your phone in there or your camera in the bum bag, and anything like sunscreen and lip balm, which are completely Kili essentials, you can put into that bum bag. Yeah? Okay, now I'm going to go on to trekking poles. So Trekking poles, again, optional, you don't need to take them. I think on the downhill, trekking poles are essential, and it just makes it so much easier on your knees when you're going down and you've got a little bit of support, especially after a long, long summer night. So again, optional, but I would recommend that you guys take trekking poles. If you don't use them, no issue, but if you need them, it's better to have them than to not have them. Okay, so that's the trekking poles. So now we're going to move into the sleeping gear. So if you're doing the Marengo route, then you're not going to need this and this because you're going to be sleeping in a hut. But if you're doing Shira or Rongali or any of the other routes on Kili, then you're going to need to have, and this is a sleeping bag, so it goes this way, sleeping bag. And the sleeping bag, it's best to have a zero sleeping bag, so it keeps you nice and warm. And a zero sleeping bag is going to be about this, this big, yeah? Then you're going to need a sleeping air pad, and this one's quite thin and it's insulated. And then here I've got a sleeping pad, and again this is a foam pad that's insulated, and this is my sleeping pad. Okay. If you're doing the Marengo route, you're going to be in a hut, and that hut has like a mattress, so you're not going to need this or this. But if you're doing any of the other routes where you're actually camping and you're in a tent, then you're definitely going to need the sleeping pad, and you're definitely going to need the foam pad as well. And then finally here, which I'm not going to pull out and show you, but here I've got my tent. Again, most of the time if you're going with any mountaineering company in Tanzania, they're going to provide tents for you. But I like my tent, so I bring my tent along for the journey, just because it's been everywhere and it's kind of like my little mountain home. So I like to bring my own tent for the journey, and then a sleeping pad, an air mattress, and a zero sleeping bag. Yeah, and that's sleeping stuff. Okay, and remember, in our little bag, in this bag I've got all my sleeping clothes. So I've got a fresh, clean pair of socks, I've got some tracksuit pants, and I've got a t-shirt or a nice warm fleece that doesn't get used for anything else except sleeping, so that every night when I'm going to bed, I've got something really nice and clean to go into bed with. Yeah? Okay, so that's all the sleeping stuff. Okay, so now we're going to go into your day pack, what you put in the day pack and really what you need. So everything else that's going with you to Kili is going to fit in this duffel bag, and this is the duffel bag that the porters are going to take with them up the mountain every single day. So what you're going to carry in your day pack is everything that you need for the day. So here I've got North Face Summit Series day pack, yeah? And so you can see just here on the little edges, it's got a little pocket and a little hole. So in this pocket, I'm going to put sunscreen and lip balm. On the pocket on the other side, I'm going to put maybe a snack that's really easily accessible, yeah? On the side, I'm going to put a water bottle. So I've got, here. So I've got water bottle here. And if we just look at the water situation, so again, what I like to take is I like to take a bladder with me, and you put this, fill it with 2 to 3 liters of water, and you put it into your day pack, and that goes with you every single day. On summit night, you're going to need to make sure that you get an insulator for the tubing, because otherwise the tube is going to completely freeze and you're not going to be able to drink any of the water. So you've got your bladder. Now, as a backup, I would always recommend to everybody that you take another extra water bottle. Now, this water bottle can actually sit on the side of your pack, yeah, on every single other day except summit night. On summit night, this needs to go inside your bag, otherwise this freezes as well. So that's your day pack. What else you put in your day pack is your outer shell. You may put a down jacket, and you put your outer shell pants and your outer shell top, because at any time it could start raining and you want to be able to just stop, pull out your outer shell jacket and your outer shell pants and put them on if you need to. So your outer shells go in here, then your 2 to 3 liters of water in your bladder, and then your water bottle with your extra water bottle, yeah? In addition to that, in the very top of this, you've got your brain, yeah? And what I would suggest in the brain is that you put all of the food that you're going to eat for that day. So remember, on Kilimanjaro, you've got an amazing team that's going to help you, and you're going to have porters and cooks there. And they're going to be providing most of the food for you. But in this brain, you're going to just put the snacks for the day. And what I would suggest to you guys is just take anything really, really yummy. So I would take some gummy bears, maybe some Mars bars, anything that's, you can go healthy if you want to, or you can just go comfort food and really delicious and yummy. But in the top of the brain, you're going to put all of the yummy stuff, your yummy snacks that you need. And the reason that you put them in the brain is because it's so easily accessible there. You don't have to open your bag and rummage through anything. You can literally just take your backpack off, open, and take out all of your snacks. Okay. In addition, in the brain, you're going to put a sun hat. Obviously, you don't need this on summit night, but every other day, you're going to need to have a sun hat. So you're going to have a sun hat, and you're going to have sunscreen, maybe your phone, maybe your camera if you're not wearing a bum bag. Yeah, so that's what else goes into your brain. Some other things that I would recommend that you take with you in your day pack, maybe some rehydration salts, and then a small personal first aid kit. And what your personal first aid kit needs to have is just all the things that are going to make your body nice and comfortable. So for example, if you know that you're prone to getting headaches, I would take some headache tablet. I'd take some pain medication. I'd take some Voltaren if your knees get sore. I'd take an ankle strap or a knee strap if you know that your knees and your ankles need that extra support. So one thing that the altitude can do is it can give you constipation or diarrhea, so you're going to put those things into your little personal first aid kit, and then you really want to have anything else in there that you think you need. So for women, any sanitary packs or anything like that, maybe you might have any of the other little items that you feel like you need just to keep your body really happy. Also Band-Aids and blister cream and then blister support and all of those other tiny things so that you make sure that your feet are nice and happy. In addition to that, definitely take some wet wipes, so a big pack of wet wipes, and it's better if those wet wipes are biodegradable. Yeah, so you need to take some biodegradable wet wipes with you, and you can bring them in your day pack and then have an extra pair here in your pack. Yeah, so that's what you're going to have in your day pack. You're going to have 2 to 3 liters of water in a bladder. You're going to have an extra 1 liter bottle of water, some rehydration salts, your outer shell, top and bottom, potentially maybe a down jacket if you need to, if the weather's really cold, a sun hat, sunscreen, definitely lip balm because your lips get really sensitive, and then nice snacks that you can eat as you're going through the mountain for any of those stops. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so now that you understand kind of all of the stuff that you need for Kili, I'm going to leave you with a few final words and thoughts. So just remember that Kili is, summer night's a hard night, and it's kind of like, it's a hard night for everyone that goes through it. But what I want you to remember is really just make your world really small on summer night. Just remember that you're there for a reason, and whatever reason that is that you're actually there for, at the end of the day, you really want to enjoy the experience. So I would completely take out of your brain the notion that you need to get to summit night and just enjoy the whole process. It is beautiful, one, to be in Tanzania. It is beautiful to be able to have the privilege to go to a place like Kilimanjaro and be able to summit that mountain. So whenever you start to think, oh, like I need to get to the summit, I want you just to completely relax. and just enjoy the entire process. It's such a beautiful mountain. So what I would suggest, and here are a few of my tips, is just to take it really easy and to walk slow. Make your world really small on summit night and just put one foot in front of the other and just one foot in front of the other. And don't think about summit, just think I'm putting one foot and then I'm putting the next foot, and then just focus on keeping your body really happy. So the way that you keep your body really happy is by making it comfortable. And this is why we have all of this gear here, to make your body comfortable. So that on summit night, you're not thinking, oh, my hands are freezing, or I can't do this because I'm so cold. All of that's gone because your body is comfortable. And the way that you make your mind comfortable is by literally, if you need to listen to nice podcasts or listen to music, then go for it. What I would suggest is make sure that every stop that you have, you drink water and that you have something to eat, because you'll be surprised when that negative talk starts to happen. A lot of the time it really correlates with diminished sugar levels or with things changing nutritionally within your body. So you'll be surprised, just a tiny little gummy or a snack can completely change your mindset. So make sure you keep your mind happy, keep your body really nice and comfortable, and just breathe. Take all the pressure off yourself and just walk and take one tiny step at a time, and that's all that you're thinking about. You're going to have an amazing team of porters and an amazing team of people there with you. So one step in front of the other, and just keep walking and just keep walking and take it really slow. Remember that you're there to enjoy the whole process, and eventually, if you just keep walking and just keeping your world really slow and small and focusing on one foot in front of the other, eventually you're going to get to the summit, and it's just going to be such a beautiful experience. But what I would do is just completely let go of that and just be present in whatever it is that you're doing, and really enjoy the process. Enjoy every single day, and just have a look at the scenery, because it's unbelievable. It's such a beautiful mountain. So that's kind of everything to do with Kili. So I wish you guys all the best for this entire process, and I hope you have an amazing trip, and I hope that my videos kind of helped you to understand what you need to take on Kili and giving you a little bit of advice on the whole process. So like I said, enjoy every single day. It's such a privilege to be able to go and climb a mountain like Kilimanjaro. Enjoy yourself and good luck. So I'm Caroline Leon, my husky has disappeared, and I'll be doing a lot more videos about all of the other mountains that we're climbing, so I hope that you watch them and come climb some mountains with me. Bye!